The pandemic has affected everyone in the world. It's especially affected the healthcare workers because there's one thing about the healthcare workers. We know we signed up to do a very stressful job. And when the pandemic occurred, we knew we needed to go in and take care of these patients. What's different about the pandemic is, my chief once told me, the hospital is always going to be hard. Make sure the home is good.
So we think of COVID as it's this medical challenge. It is, a virus that we have to beat with masking and social distancing and a vaccine. But there was another part of this crisis, and that was how much it chewed up frontline staff and the entire healthcare workforce.
We were afraid at work. We were afraid going home. We were afraid that we couldn't walk into patients' rooms and not know if they had COVID or not because it's so virulent when it's asymptomatic.
You were seeing a lot of fatigue, but especially with my nurses who are in the COVID units. The mental health effects that this has had has been incredibly taxing. So VMC Foundation put out the call for help to the community. And what was amazing is not only were they able to give us gloves or whatever masks they had, they actually produced these for us. And it wasn't just 3 or 4 that they were able to produce. They were able to produce hundreds, I think over 1,000 of these that we were able to then use. And we did use.
When the VMC Foundation and the community responded with the PPE, when we put out the call and said we need help, it was an overwhelming sense, not only of relief, but we felt supported. We felt that our community really responded and they understood our fear and they understood our anxiety and they understood our need.
Since we were seeing patients, if you will, through telephone calls, it was very important for us to be able to monitor their oxygenation, their temperatures, and their heart rates, because this is the way that we determined whether a patient needed to come into the clinic to be seen or whether they needed to even go to the emergency room because they were getting in trouble. And so one of those ways that we could objectively evaluate a patient was with the pulse oximeters and thermometers. So we reached out to the VMC Foundation and asked if they could help so that we could deliver them to our patients at home. We initially, I think, asked for 50 oximeters, and then we came back and asked for the thermometers. The next time it was 100 oximeters and then 200 oximeters. And every time I sent the email, I thought, ooh, I don't know, maybe I'm asking for too much this time. But each and every time, we got back the response, of course, yes, we'll order them and we'll let you know when they're here.
The VMC Foundation stands out because they are always accessible. We can call them and say, we need PPE for the entire 3-hospital system, and they respond. And I can call them and say, my nurses on my unit are really overwhelmed, and can we do something just to boost morale? And they will respond. And they respond quickly. And then they usually come back with a better idea than the one that I had and give me more than what I asked for.
Santa Clara County Health and Hospital Systems had more than 10 plus sites for mass vaccination set up throughout the county. The site that I was specifically in charge of was the Burger Drive site. And I think the hardest part during the pandemic was the fear of not having enough energy to be present and be hopeful, to bring hope to the staff. And in order to provide the patients with the utmost experience, we ourselves needed our cups filled. So I'm sorry. And in order to do that day in and day out was very difficult. But being surrounded by such amazing human beings made it easy.
Working with the VMC Foundation, it was a extremely positive experience. It was almost like a family. We all had the same goal, and it was to bring well-being to every single one of our colleagues. I would say it was truly because of their resources that they have that we were able to successfully bring joy to all of our staff.
In the middle of the pandemic, the Valley Medical Foundation funded a room for us to use. We call it the Lavender Room. And it actually is a room for our staff. And it is a decompression, recovery, quiet, calming, soothing space for our staff to be able to go in and take a breather. This is exceptional for us because having this room, having this space gave our staff a place where they could go in, pull it together, take a breather, and then go back out and do it again. And sometimes all you have is 10 minutes in between one tragedy before you move on to the next.
Valley Medical Center Foundation helped us to care for our COVID-positive patients. Valley Medical Center Foundation was hope and help to our patients. The VMC Foundation is really part of the Valley Medical Center family.
Valley Medical Center Foundation is the safety net of our safety net. They are our partners. They are our friends.
To everyone who donated in support of the work we've done over the last year and a half in this pandemic, I would say thank you. Because it had an immediate and real impact on our individual lives.
I would like to say thank you to the thousands of donors that have donated to the VMC Foundation, but that would be an understatement. There are no words, really. Without your support and you donating, we would have not had the safety net that we had in the VMC Foundation.
I want to give my sincere, heartfelt appreciation to all of the donors. Every day that we're in that hospital, you are part of our team. You are part of that treatment team. So please keep giving. We are going to beat this, but we're going to have to do it collectively. Thank you.